Hi friends, it's Amy and I'm your sewing teacher. Here today with a short video on how to make your own spray starch. I'll tell you about my little journey over the last week and a half. I ran out of the spray starch that I normally buy at Michael's. Now it's usually very expensive and I don't like to buy it, so it's important to note that I don't really use starch very often. When I do use starch, it's mostly for binding quilts. And this week, I have 4 baby quilts to bind. So I looked high and low all week at every grocery store in my area for spray starch. They just don't sell it anymore the way they used to. It used to be in your laundry aisle. It used to cost, $4 for a canister, and that canister would last you a long time. But now I'm going to do the environmentally friendly and more economical way of making my own. So join me today on making your own spray starch. If you like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And also that subscribe button and the bell over there, if you click those, it'll let you know when I put new videos up on Sundays. Please enjoy this video. And don't forget, comment where you're from. I always want to know. We'll talk to you soon. So welcome to my kitchen, but today we're going to make some spray starch for ironing. So this is the economical and environmentally friendly way to make spray starch. All we need for this is 1.5 tablespoons of actual cornstarch. I have chosen the Bob's Red Mill. You'll also need 2.5 cups of water, which I have already put into my mason jar so that I'm ready to go. And you're going to need a saucepan that will hold 2.5 cups of water, and you're going to need to have stir stick of some sort. I'm going to use my wooden spoon. And for when you're finished and it's cooled off, you will want to have a spray container. The website that I got the recipe off of does suggest a glass spray bottle, but I don't have a glass one, so I'm just going to use one that I purchased at the dollar store. So let's get to making it. All right, so there's 2.5 cups of water going in my saucepan. I do want it to go to a boil. So it's on a 9 right now instead of a high, but it will bring it to a boil. So I also want to have my 1.5 tablespoons. So there's 1 tablespoon and a half. And try not to make the big mess I'm making, but this stuff is powdery and very messy. So once you have the water in your pan and your starch, you need to make sure there are no clumps, and you just stir it. Now this recipe does allow for the cornstarch to stay suspended in the water, and so there isn't any shaking that needs to happen when you use this as a spray starch. So I think that I have that mixed up really nicely. It's a nice white color. Now if you want to make this for dark colors, then the change is to use vodka instead of water, and I will link below the recipe for the lights and for the darks. It's on one website. So put my lid on and then I let it boil. So now I'm going to go to high and let it boil. So once it's boiling, you want to run it for 1 minute. But you don't want it to overflow, so you want to reduce your heat once you get over the initial You'll see that it has a milky, but it's not as white as it was originally, and it has thickened up, which we knew would happen. And we're just going to let it cool before we put it into our sprayer. So once it's cooled, you'll have to remove the film from the top of it to make sure that that doesn't go in your spray bottle. And then you're just gonna pour it into whatever spray bottle you have. And now that is my spray starch. So that's how you make spray starch from cornstarch. Enjoy your ironing. So there you have it. That's how you make spray starch for ironing with cornstarch. It's a very economical and easy to do process that's way easier than going to 5 different stores and still not finding the spray starch. Thanks for joining me today on this very short video. I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, you can subscribe below. If you click that bell, it will notify you when new videos go up on Sundays. And also, just so that you know, I love those comments. You can go ahead and comment about where you're watching from, or if you have any other tips or tricks that we need to know about. Thanks so very much for joining me on this sewing journey. It could be my students, it could be my children, it could be my sewing journey, but it's definitely yours. Thank you so very much. We'll see you next week.